In level 2, you will have to first factor expressions and then simplify like we did in level 1. So remember when you factor to always check for a GCF first. On the top of this first fraction, there is a GCF between 2x squared and minus 6x. They have a 2 in common and they have an x in common. So I need to change this to factored form. I factor out 2x, I put a set of parentheses, and 2x times what is 2x squared? That would be an x. And 2x times what is minus 6x? That would be minus 3. So I get 2x times the quantity x minus 3 on the top. Now it's in factored form. Can't factor out 6x squared. And now I check the top with the bottom and see what can be simplified or canceled out. The 2 over the 6, both of those can be divided by 2, and I would get 1 over 3. I can simplify my x's. I have one x on the top and an x squared on the bottom. If I subtract my exponents, the x on the top will cancel and I'll just be left with 1x on the bottom. So I get a 3 and an x left on the bottom. I don't need to write the 1 in front, so just an x minus 3 on the top. And that's as far as I can go. That's my final answer. In the next example, again, I want to fully factor it. On the top, these are two perfect squares. X squared and 4 are both perfect squares. So remember, they'll factor into the difference of squares. I do two binomials and the square root of both of these. I want two factors that are the same, except the sign in the middle will be opposite. So I have x and x here, and the square root of 4 is 2, so 2 and 2 here. One's a plus, one's a minus. On the bottom, this trinomial should factor into two binomials. My first two terms need to be x to multiply to x squared. I need my last terms to multiply to 2, so it's got to be a 2 and a 1. And if they have to multiply to negative 2, one has to be positive, one negative. So if I put the negative here, the positive here, that gives me negative 2x and positive 1x, which does add to negative x, the middle term. So now that I've factored the bottom, I check and see what can be canceled. What factors are the same on the top and the bottom. And the x minus 2's are the same, so they cancel out. I get x plus 2 over x plus 1. Now, don't be tempted to cross off those x's. They don't cancel. That's as far as we can go. Okay, in our last example, again, we start by factoring. We check for a GCF. On the top, there is a GCF. We can factor out 3x. 3x times x is 3x squared, and 3x times minus 2 is minus 6x. On the bottom, we need two binomials. There's no GCF between 3, 7, and 2, so I go straight to two binomials. My first terms need to multiply to 3x squared, so it has to be 3x and x. My last terms need to multiply to 2, so it's got to be 1 and 2. I'm going to put the 1 here and 2 here. Remember, if you guess wrong, to go back, check it, and if it doesn't work, switch them. If I multiply these, I get 1x. Multiply my outside terms, I get 6x. And if I want them to add to negative 7x, I need them both to be negative, so minus is here, and that does still multiply to positive 2. So that works. Now I see what can cancel. So the x minus 2's cancel. We get 3x over 3x minus 1. Can we cancel those 3x's? No, we cannot. That's as far as we can go.